Newman. Haas Indigo Racing was a motor racing team competing in the IndyCar Series. The team operations were based in Lincolnshire, Illinois. Newman. Haas Racing was formed when actor Paul Newman and longtime racer Carl Haas, competitors in the Can-Am Championship, each began looking to kart racing in 1982. The two decided to join forces for 1983, with Mario Andretti as the team's driver. The team won 105 kart races and 8 drivers' championships. From 2007 until May 2010, Mike Lanigan became a partner in the company, resulting in the change of team name for the time. In 2011, Carl Haas announced that the team would not run in the IndyCar Series in 2012 due to the economic climate. Drivers' Championship Auto Racing Teams. NHIR was one of the most successful teams in the history of kart, its drivers winning 8 championships: Mario Andretti in 1984, Michael Andretti in 1991, Nigel Mansell in 1993, Cristiano d'Armata in 2002, and Sébastien Bourdais in 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2007. Newman. Haas Racing was also second overall in driver wins. The team had many notable drivers over the years, including Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, Nigel Mansell, Paul Tracy, Cristiano d'Armata, Sébastien Bourdais, Justin Wilson, and Graham Rahal. In 2005, Newman. Haas Racing fielded 2 cars in the Champ Car World Series. The drivers were Bruno Junqueira and Sébastien Bourdais, the eventual champion. Junqueira was injured in a crash during the 2005 Indianapolis 500, however, and was replaced in the cockpit by Oriol Servia. For 2006, Newman. Haas Racing fielded 2 cars in the Champ Car World Series. The cars were upgraded Lola B0300 chassis, powered by Ford Cosworth engines with Bridgestone tires. The drivers were Sébastien Bourdais and Bruno Junqueira. NHIR earned its 100th kart win on June 10, 2007, when Sébastien Bourdais won the Portland Grand Prix by 15 seconds. After more than a decade of intense rivalry, Indy Racing League founder and CEO Tony George and the owners of the Champ Car World Series agreed on February 22, 2008, to reunify American open-wheel racing for 2008 and beyond. Newman. Haas Racing welcomed the news and confirmed the participation in the unified IndyCar Series in 2008 with Justin Wilson and Graham Rahal. IndyCar Series. 2008 season. The 2008 season started in the difficulty typical to all transitional teams, with Wilson struggling for pace on the high-speed Homestead Miami Speedway when he ran over a banana and started tumbling. Graham Rahal in the hole-in-the-wall Camp's car was not able to run in the opening race after crashing heavily in testing at Homestead because his brakes were not working. Wilson drove a steady race to finish highly amongst the ex-Champ Car teams, but struggled to race the established IndyCar teams. Fortunes changed dramatically for the powerful squad at Round 2 on the streets of St. Petersburg in Florida. Wilson qualified strongly and led most of the opening stint before being shuffled back in the chaotic stops onto slick tires as the track dried. Graham Rahal's crew, however, read the conditions perfectly and filled him with just enough fuel to scrape to the end with a few safety cars. It came down to the final laps when Rahal had just enough fuel to pull away from Helio Castroneves to take an historical win, becoming the youngest winner in the history of major open-wheel racing. Round 3, the final Champ Car sanctioned event at Long Beach, was tough for NHIR. Wilson was supreme in qualifying and took pole position. Running a strong second early on the race, his engine suffered a rare failure and was out. Rattle struggled, and after a spin mid-race, he crashed out on the final lap. Round 17 of the season in Detroit brought the team the second win of the year, with Justin Wilson standing at the top of the podium following a battle with Helio Castroneves through the latter half of the race. Wilson started sixth on the grid. After the first set of pit stops, Wilson moved up to second on the road behind Castroneves and pressured him for the lead initially before falling back to a comfortable second. The second set of stops and a safety car brought Wilson back to contention. He again pressured Castroneves, who blocked Wilson and was forced to give Wilson the lead by race control. Once in the lead, Wilson managed to pull away, eventually winning by over 4 seconds. After the Detroit race, Wilson sits 11th in the drivers' standings with Rattle in 17th, with Wilson second in the Rookie of the Year standings and Rattle 45 points behind in 4th. 2009 season. Wilson's services were not retained by the team for 2009. He was replaced by former Champ Car driver Robert Dornbos on the team. Rattle shifted to Wilson's 02 car, and Dornbos took over the 06. Milky Duno tested a third car for the team before the season, but a full season ride never materialized. McDonald's returned as primary sponsor of the 02, and as of Richmond the 06 began to carry McDonald's decals on its side pods as well. On Tuesday, the 4th of August, Dornbos announced that he had left the team with immediate effect. Subsequently, Oriol Servia, who had previously substituted for the team for Bruno Junqueira in 2005, was announced as the driver of the 06 for the remainder of the 2009 series. 2010 season. Unable to find sponsorship for Graham Rattle's 02 car, Newman Haas released him and started the 2010 schedule with only one driver, Hideki Muto, driving the 06 car coming from Andretti Green Racing. However, Rattle returned to the team in the 02 car for the Honda Indy Toronto, finishing 5th. Rattle later found sponsorship for 5 more races. 2011 season. Newman Haas started the 2011 series with one car, driven by Oriol Servia and sponsored by Telemundo. Prior to the second race of the season, Newman Haas Racing announced that Canadian James Hinchcliffe would drive for the team in the North American events of the 2011 IndyCar Series season, including his debut in the 100th anniversary Indianapolis 500 and events in his hometown of Toronto, as well as Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Sprott Inc., a leading independent asset manager based in Toronto, was the primary sponsor of Hinchcliffe's car. 2012 season. Although Newman Haas Racing initially planned to run the full 2012 IndyCar Series season, even going as far to buy 2 Dallara DW12 chassis, Carl Haas announced on December 1, 2011 that they would not run the season due to lack of sponsorship. Although they initially announced they would run the 2012 Indianapolis 500 with Gene LSE, they later withdrew and LSE went on the race in the Indianapolis 500 with Fan Force United. The team told press that they would try to return to the IndyCar Series for the 2013 season with 2 cars, but that failed to materialize. As of May 2013, the team's website and Twitter feed had not been updated in more than a year. Drivers: Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, Sebastian Bourdais, Cristiano D'Armata, Robert Dornbos, Teo Fabi, Christian Fittipaldi, James Hinchcliffe, Alan Jones, Bruno Junqueira, Alex Lloyd, Nigel Mansell, Roberto Marino, Hideki Muto, Graham Rattle, Oriol Servia, Paul Tracy, Justin Wilson. Racing results. Complete Kart Champ Car World Series results, Complete IndyCar Series results, 1 used at 2008 Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, 2 non-points paying, exhibition race.